from Dylan Bradshaw. I just wanted to go through a look with you that you might know on the internet. It's Kim Kardashian. She has the really kind of white, yellow highlighter, really dark contouring. So I'm going to just show you how you can recreate that look. And what I'm using here is a really dark, it's actually a foundation stick, but it's really nice and soft, so it's quite easy to blend. And what I'm going to do is start off just by contouring underneath the cheekbone, and I'm also going to pop it in the temple as well. And what we're going to do is get a foundation as well, and we're going to blend all this together so it looks a little bit crazy at the start. And then I'm using a really pale concealer. Now what I'm going to do is really brighten right up around the eyes. And bring that up onto the cheekbone as well. So what we're doing is we're really creating like an optical illusion with the light and the dark colour. So by lightening anything, you're highlighting, which means you're going to bring it out. So the likes of keeping the cheekbone brighter, and then darkening underneath the cheekbone is going to create a hollow, which will make the cheekbones look nice and defined and high. Bring this down the centre of the nose. This is brilliant for people who may have slightly wider noses as well. It's great, not that Kiana needs it. You can really slim down the nose by doing this. And that's our light colour again, and just in the middle of the brows there. So you can see how it all actually blends in together. So it's really subtle. You just have a really subtle darkness and then the brightness all around the eye. So what we want to do is set our base. So I'm going to use a nice golden shade of powder, because Kim Kardashian has that lovely yellow kind of undertone in her skin. If you want to, you can warm up the skin. Say if you're naturally quite pale, you can go for a darker colour foundation, but just make sure to blend it down the neck, even by using bronzer, and just to ensure that the skin tone is all the same colour. And it'll actually add a nice little bit of coverage as well for that really even look. So you don't want to disturb the makeup underneath, so even pat, just be very gentle with the brush. And what this will do, it'll take down any excess shine as well and just keep everything in place. I'm going to set the eyelids as well, just dust the powder over them. And just make sure that there's no shine down the front of the face. It's okay to have a little bit of a shine, say on the lights of the cheekbones and towards the outer part of the face, but just always keep the front of the face nice and matte. And the reason for that is you just don't want the skin to look over oily, but you can still have it looking nice and dewy by a little bit of colour on the cheeks. So I'm going to highlight the cheekbones now again. And I'm going to use, this is nice, it's like an ivory colour. So I'm actually just going to pat this just on the actual cheekbone. And just working down towards the apple of the face, and you get that nice sheen then as well. The highlighter is brilliant just because I can really catch any light and really show off the cheekbones, and it looks absolutely brilliant in photographs as well. So I'm going to use bronzing powder as well, and I'm going to just sculpt where we put the darker colour and just really blend it in. And it's always good to use a matte colour for this. Anything with shimmer will just do the opposite to what you want. You want to use a matte colour so it'll pull it back. So next I'm going to highlight under the brow bone, and I'm also going to fill in the brows for a really defined look. In here, it just really opens up the eyes and catches the light. And just look up. So just by using a paler shadow with a little sheen, not so much a glitter, just a little bit of iridescence, and just pop it on the inner part of the eye there. And that looks great even with a really smoky eye as well. So I'm going to define Kiana's brows, and I'm going to just use a powder. And for when using powder to fill in the brows, I always go for a shadow that looks like it's almost too light, and that way once it actually goes onto the brow and onto the skin underneath the brow, it actually comes out a little bit darker. So you don't want it to look too false, you just want them to look nice and full. I'm just using a taupe colour, and it's actually an eyeshadow, and just take it in sections and work with the hair growth, so always in the direction of the hair growth, so up and then diagonal, and then we're always going to bring it up towards the arch, and then we'll take it back down. So we always want to keep with the natural shape of the brow and emphasize that arch, because that's what's going to really lift. Now, so I just defined the eyes a little bit just by using really natural eyeshadow, and just a large fluffy brush, just shading in the socket area. Just use a matte colour, always matte colours for shading, so we use a matte colour for shading underneath the cheekbone and then in the socket as well. And I've just brought it out a little bit further, so kind of up towards the brow. You don't want to bring it down, or else you're going to start to droop the eyes down a bit. So I'm going to continue and bring a little bit underneath as well. So just using a little bit of base eyeshadow just smoothing it out. And just bring the same colour then underneath the eye. So I'm just going to darken in at the lash line now as well. Just using a dark brown shadow, and just get right in at the roots of the lashes. And by pressing it in, you get a much stronger colour because you're actually layering the pigment on top of each other. A matte colour is always better to do this with, and then you can keep all your shine then on the likes of the lid and underneath the brow. So for a bit of a smudgier look, then what you can do is you can blend that as well. I'm just blending it upwards. And then when you come towards the edges, just follow the lash line out. So next I'm going to apply mascara now, and I'm going to pop it on the bottom lashes first. The reason I do the bottom first is just so that you don't get any smudges when it comes to doing the top ones. And get right in at the roots of the lashes when applying the mascara, so you can really layer the mascara on. So a little bit of blusher then just on the apples of the cheek, so nothing too strong, just a nice neutral colour. Just on the actual apples and then blend it back then. So we're going to keep the lips nice and nude, just for a nice natural look. So for lips then, what we want to do is use quite a neutral liner and then a nice pale lip gloss then as well. So going slightly around the lip line, and just make sure they're really symmetrical as well. So what we're going to do is blend our pale lip gloss then into the lip pencil that we've just done. So even if it looks a little bit dark, it's fine because you want it to be slightly darker towards the outer edges. So this really enhances the shape of the lips, and it can actually give the illusion that the lips are even that little bit fuller as well. So by coming in that little bit lighter just in the middle. And just make sure that the face is always nice and matte, just down the front of the face. Yeah, so that finishes off our Kim Kardashian look. This is like a blonde version of Kim Kardashian. But if you want any tips or anything or any of the products that we used, even leave a little comment below. And thanks a million for watching. Cheers.